I think there are three major threats that you want to immediately get on top of. Number one is, what are we doing in the Asia-Pacific region, where both North Korea and China pose threats to the national security of the United States? Number two is, what are we doing in the Middle East with a combination of the Sunni-Shia conflict driven by the Shia arc that Iran is now trying to establish in the Middle East, and also the growing threat of ISIS? And the third is rebuilding and reinvigorating NATO in the European theater, particularly in Central Europe and in Eastern Europe, where Vladimir Putin is now threatening the territory of multiple countries, already controls 20% of Georgia and a significant percentage of Ukraine. The president I grew up under was Ronald Reagan. And Reagan had a vision for America's future. And if you think about what Ronald Reagan inherited, it's not unlike what the next president is going to inherit. This is the worst president we've had in 35 years. 35 years back would have made it Jimmy Carter. That's what Ronald Reagan inherited. And I think the question you would ask is, how did you inspire again the American people to believe in the future? What did it take to ensure that the American people, despite all of the difficulties of the time, you look back at that time, the American military was in decline, our standing in the world was in decline, we had hostages being held in Iran, our economy was in bad shape. The American people were scared about the future. They were scared about what kind of country their children were going to live in and inherit. And yet somehow Ronald Reagan was able to instill in our nation and in our people a sense of optimism, and he turned America around because of that vision and ultimately because of that leadership. I wish Ronald Reagan was still around. This country needs someone just like that. And if our next president is even half the president Ronald Reagan was, America is going to be greater than it's ever been. Thank you. Thank you for watching tonight. This is a difficult time in our country. Our economy's flat. It's not creating the jobs it once did. People struggle living paycheck to paycheck. Our culture's in trouble. Wrong is now considered right, and right is considered wrong. And all the things that once held our families together are now under constant assault. And around the world, America's reputation's in decline. Our allies don't trust us. Our adversaries don't fear us. Iran captures our sailors and parades them before the world on video. These are difficult times. But 2016 can be a turning point. That's why I'm running for president. That's why I'm here today to ask you for your vote. If you elect me president, we are going to re-embrace free enterprise so that everyone can go as far as their talent and their work will take them. We are going to be a country that says that life begins at conception and life is worthy of the protection of our laws. We're going to be a country that says that marriage is between one man and one woman. And we are going to be a country that says the Constitution and the rights that it talks about do not come from our president, they come from our Creator. And we are going to be loyal to our allies like Israel, not enemies like Iran. And we will rebuild the U.S. military so no one will dare test it. Vote for me. I will unify this party. I will grow it. We will win this election, and we will make the 21st century a new American century.